Omid Kokabee was a doctoral student in the physics department at the University of Texas at Austin when he was arrested without warning while visiting his family in Iran in February of 2011. He was detained over 15 months without specific charges. Despite refusing to confess numerous times, even under intense pressure, he was convicted in a trial with over a dozen other defendants. He had no access to his lawyer, and allegedly no evidence was presented against him during his trial. Needless to say, his trial fell far short of international standards of due process.
So I met Omid when he contacted me and said he was interested in doing work in nonlinear optics. Now, he'd been in Barcelona and had worked with a very high-level reputable group in optics, and so I said, well, sure, I'd meet with him. So he came and met with me here in my office, and he told me about his background, what he'd been working on in Spain, and he was a very persistent guy. He was clearly very interested in working specifically in laser physics, which I thought was pretty cool. He obviously had shown a lot of interest in the kind of research that we did, and he was very informed. He read papers, knew his stuff. He was sharp as a tack. I mean, a very smart guy. I was very impressed with him. And so, we talked. I guess we met a couple of times, and I just really liked the guy. I mean, he was, like I said, very enthusiastic, and I like people who like physics.
It immediately became clear that he was quite knowledgeable in my field. Had read several of my group's papers, was very much in touch with what was going on in my group. He'd done his homework, he'd talked to my graduate students, he'd talked to my postdocs. This was a guy that, despite his quietness, sometimes self-effacing manner, he knew what was going on. He just had this sort of quiet intelligence that made him very likable and memorable.
He's somewhat different. I mean, he's not like the usual physicist who was interested in equations, interested in equipment, but he was interested in something else. And what he was interested in was being an entrepreneur, and it's clearly stated in his homepage on the web. And as I was told and informed, he really wanted to start a technology business in Iran.
Omid was a bright and talented experimental physicist in his field of optics. He ranked 29th in the Iranian university entrance exams, which are held annually with over 1 million participants. For his undergraduate studies in applied physics and mechanical engineering, he attended the Sharif University of Technology, which is anecdotally referred to as the MIT of Iran. He then went on to obtain advanced degrees in optics at the Polytechnic University of Catalonia and the Institute for Photonic Sciences in Spain. In addition to his scholarly achievements, he was also very active in entrepreneurship and industry. In 2010, he started his first and only semester at UT Austin.
And so he arrived in August of 2010 and began, as most international graduate students do. He was paid as a TA with state funds to teach undergraduates in courses. He also was studying our core graduate classes, and he took electricity and magnetism, which relates to his interest in optics. He had not yet had time to choose a supervisor for his dissertation, so he hadn't started any research yet. He hadn't traveled to present results from any research at the University of Texas because he had not yet done any research here. At the end of the fall semester, after having been here only 3 months, he returned to Iran over the December break, and then in early January, when he was to return, he did not arrive. I emailed him to find the explanation, and he said that, well, he was waiting for a visa and that he thought he would leave the next weekend. I then got an email confirming his visa, and so we were expecting him and were surprised when he did not arrive. We later learned, when his family asked to withdraw him from graduate school, the initial explanation was that he had been in an accident. But later in March, we learned that in fact he had been arrested.
And so I told him that, yeah, I would take him on in my group. Now, we never got past that because he came, I guess, for a semester, and then unfortunately his trip back to Iran happened. So, I mean, I personally was pretty upset when I heard about that because I really liked the guy. I mean, he was, you know, a really sharp guy, and I like people who took an interest in my work specifically. So, you know, it was pretty upsetting when I found out what happened, and I'm still upset about it. I think it's extremely unfair. I mean, his intentions, I think were completely innocent. He was just interested in working in nonlinear optics, and wanted to get his hands dirty.
Doctors Arash and Kamiyar Alai are two HIV researchers whose pioneering work in HIV treatment and prevention programs has gained international recognition. They were arrested in 2008 under similar circumstances to Omid Kokabee.
Hi, my name is Kamiyar Alai. I want to talk about Omid Kokabee. He was a doctoral student at Texas University. He was informed that his mother is sick, so he went to Iran to visit his mother, but unfortunately he got arrested and he was sentenced 10 years to be in prison. I had a similar story. When I was a doctoral student in the US, I went to Iran to visit my family because I missed them. But unfortunately I got arrested without any notification, and I was sentenced for 3 years. But thanks to a lot of international organizations that they called for my release, and that was the reason I'm here. I want to ask you to call for his release, and I want to ask officials of Iran to give a gift for the new Iranian year, New Year for Iranian, which is in March 21st, to release Omid, so he can return to the US to continue his education and to achieve his main goal, which is contribution to the science. Thank you.
سلام، من آرش علایی هستم، پزشک در زمینه ایدز فعالیت میکنم. افتخار داشتم حدود 7 ماه در بند 350 زندان اوین با امید کوکبی در یک بند زندانی باشیم. امید هیچ گونه فعالیت مشخص سیاسی که باعث بشه که 10 سال بهش زندانی بدن رو نداشت. فقط یک دانشجویی بود که فعال بود در زمینه تحقیق و دوست داشت کمک بکنه به همکلاسیاش، به دانشگاهش در زمینه همکاری‌های دانشگاهی. وقتی که ما زندان بودیم، امید سعی می‌کرد با کلاس‌های انگلیسی و با کلاس‌هایی که در زمینه تخصص‌های مختلف بود کمک کنه به همسلولی‌ها. امید همچنین در زمینه ورزش هم فعال بود. در حیات زندان که ما امکان ورزش داشتیم فعالیت‌های ورزشی زیادی میکرد. روحیش همیشه خوب بود و چون اعتقاد داشت که هیچ گونه فعالیتی برخلاف قانون یا برخلاف امنیت ملی انجام نداده، به این خاطر همیشه فعالیت‌هاش رو در زمینه علمی گسترش میداد و سعی میکرد جوی که پیرامونشه تحت تاثیر قرار بده از لحاظ برنامه‌های علمی.
If you ask what's tragic about this, probably the most tragic thing for Iran is that it's lost someone who could really have helped their scientific base. Because with his knowledge and enthusiasm and thrust to do things, he certainly would have contributed to Iranian society. And I hope that the government and the Ayatollah will consider this when they consider whether he deserves a pardon or a new hearing. And if he has a new hearing, I certainly hope that it's done under proper auspices, where he can defend himself, where the charges are clear. This is a very severe sentence, even for someone who is guilty of something, let alone a severe sentence for someone who may be framed up because they want something out of him. So anyway, I do ask for compassion by the Iranian government.
We would really much like to have him back. He's an excellent scientist, and he will do fantastic research if he's allowed to.
Omid is currently suffering from malnutrition and kidney problems, and so far has been denied medical care by the Iranian government. He has lost 13 pounds. Also, recently he received additional prison time for teaching inmates English, Spanish, and physics.
Students go home to see family once in a while, so that thing can happen to us, so please sign a petition for him.
Free Omid.
Please sign the petition. Free Omid.
Free Omid.
Bring Omid back to UT. Sign the petition for Omid.
Fair trial for Omid.